It suggests that having strong beliefs will inevitably create opposition.
It really pushes us, yeah. To consider the cost of conviction. On one level, it's a compelling argument. Standing for something often means standing against something else. Neutrality can look like complicity sometimes. It suggests that if you don't have opposition, maybe your beliefs aren't that strong, or maybe you compromise too easily. It definitely challenges the listener. Are your principles strong enough to potentially create friction, to generate opposition? But, you know, it also makes you pause and think, does opposition always mean you're principled? Or can some enemies be, well, self-created through other means? The artist is clearly speaking from a place of feeling like an individual against the tide, though, that lived experience.
And they really hammer home this commitment to principles. They double down on it. They state, I'd rather die than live cold blood. And then echoing the earlier thought, I'd rather die than live life like a cow. It's this ultimate rejection of apathy or fear or just living without real conviction. It speaks to this deep need for authenticity.
Absolutely. It moves beyond just defiance.
Yeah.
It speaks to an almost existential need for, authenticity, for preserving yourself through moral integrity, to live cold blood or like a cow. That's presented as not just passive, but a surrender of your core self,
Yeah.
a kind of living death. So the artist is saying the greatest loss isn't physical death, it's the death of your spirit, abandoning what defines you. It's a really powerful statement about that human drive for a meaningful life, even if meaning brings conflict, brings sacrifice.
Now, as the artist is grappling with this world, these moral questions, they also bring in religious prophecy. They connect the chaos to it. They say, with this sense of urgent recognition, the Bible said that this would happen. It's all written down the final minutes of the finalists picking Jesus coming any minute now. They shred while they celebrating sinning now. It frames their personal experience in this much bigger, almost eschatological story. It gives a framework for the disorientation.
Right, and what's quite illuminating there is that infusion of apocalyptic imagery, that palpable feeling of living in end times. This isn't just personal anger now. It's framed within this larger cosmic divine narrative. It's a spiritual lens to understand the chaos. For many people, when the world around them seems to lose moral coherence, turning to prophecy, to a sense of final moments, can be a way to find meaning again, to find order. Even if it's an order predicting destruction and reckoning, it helps contextualize overwhelming despair.
And the lyrics also touch on other biblical ideas about this moral decline, like love growing cold. The artist notes they celebrate like the lettuce from heaven says to many will grow cold in the end of days. It points to this chilling indifference, this loss of compassion they see all around.
That line, love growing cold, is particularly powerful. It touches on the psychological impact of widespread desensitization. When you're constantly hit with injustice, with violence, and there's no clear path forward, compassion can fade. Not out of malice, maybe, but just sheer empathetic exhaustion. So the artist isn't just lamenting sin, they're lamenting the loss of fundamental humanity, that capacity for love, for connection. And seeing that as a sign of spiritual decay, it makes you think about the real toll that sustained moral chaos takes on the human spirit.
But you know, amidst all this fury, all the talk that sounds like retribution, there's also this profound moment of vulnerability. A clear plea for guidance. The artist says, Father, forgive me for not forgiving. Teach me how to love, because love's the last thing on my mind right now after seeing that blood. It shows this deep internal struggle, doesn't it? Wanting to align with higher ideals, even when consumed by such powerful anger. It's incredibly powerful, because it shows an active moral conscience. It really does. Despite this overwhelming urge for vengeance, the artist is choosing to engage in that spiritual struggle, actively seeking help to uphold love and forgiveness. It's not passive reflection, it's an earnest plea for intervention to guide their will. It reveals this deep yearning for moral, for spiritual integrity, even when facing trauma that might, logically justify wanting retribution. It's a real testament to that human capacity to seek goodness, even when surrounded by evil.
And then the artist refers back implicitly to Jesus' words, recalling something like, they know not what they do, even admitting, I don't got your book memorized. Yeah. That says so much about an earnest, maybe imperfect faith, doesn't it?
It really does.
They're reaching for that wisdom, even without perfect recall, highlighting this raw, genuine attempt to apply faith to overwhelming feelings. Absolutely. And it raises an interesting question about, imperfect faith and our capacity for spiritual resilience. It's not about quoting scripture perfectly. It's about that sincere yearning for guidance, for wisdom in crisis. That fragmented memory, they know not what they do, shows them trying to find a framework, maybe for understanding, maybe even potential forgiveness for those causing such pain. It just speaks to that enduring human need for belief systems that offer a path forward, even when the path is really obscured by anger and trauma.
And the lyrics wrap up with this really powerful reflection on legacy, asking, how do you want to be remembered? If I die, everything just goes away.
Right.
How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered? And the answer comes, I want to be remembered for courage, for my faith, that would be the most important thing is my faith.
Hmm.
It's a final defining statement of purpose, strips everything else away.
Yeah, that culmination really underlines this profound human search for meaning, enduring meaning, beyond just, existing day to day. In a world that feels chaotic and despairing, the artist's ultimate goal isn't fame, it isn't wealth. It's a legacy defined by courage and faith. It implies those are the virtues that truly last, that withstand the chaos. It's like a final, defiant act of hope against what they see as societal collapse. And it really challenges us, doesn't it, to think about what values we believe will truly endure when everything else fades.
So what does this all mean for us, you might be asking? We've explored this raw tension, haven't we, between turning the other cheek and demanding justice, this stark redefinition of courage, this deep quest for faith, for purpose, in a world that feels upside down sometimes, all through the lens of these incredibly potent lyrics from St. MESUS. It's been a deep dive into the heart of a conflict that, well, many of us might face at some point.
Indeed. And these lyrics really challenge us to think hard about our own responses to injustice. When is silence okay? When is it complicity? Or even cowardice? It pushes us to reflect on our own principles, the values we say we champion, and how we actually live them out. Especially when we're tested by anger, by disillusionment, by all the moral gray areas in a world that rarely gives easy answers. The artist's journey here, it forces us to examine our own moral compass and the courage it takes to live by it.
These lyrics definitely make us wonder. In a world where sometimes it feels like evil's everywhere, and that line between courage and violence or forgiveness and justice seems incredibly thin, how do you want to be remembered? For your silence, your anger, or for your unwavering faith and principles?